Hello, and welcome to my presentation, which is focused on implementing the Scamper method as a creativity tool in an organizational setting. My name is Emily Keogh, and I am currently studying the Masters of Business on the Management stream. Here we have a roadmap for today's presentation. Firstly, I will give a brief background of the Scamper method. Secondly, I will focus on how the Scamper method is implemented and used. Thirdly, I will explain the 7 steps of the Scamper method. Then I will discuss both the limitations and the benefits of the method. And finally, I will conclude with an organisational example in which I feel Scamper method will be most beneficial. Innovation is widely regarded as one of the most important sources of competitive advantage a firm can possess, and it is directly linked to both increased firm performance and success. Two quotes which I feel strongly correlate to both the Scamper method and innovation within an organisation are: Innovation is the creation of the new or the rearranging of the old in a new way by Michael Vance, or Creativity is intelligence having fun by Albert Einstein. So what is the Scamper method? The Scamper method is a versatile creative brainstorming technique that helps teams explore ideas from 7 different perspectives. The Scamper forces teams to think outside the box, and it is particularly useful for generating ideas for new product development in organizations. Background of the Scamper method. The Scamper method was developed in 1971 by Robert Eberle. Robert Eberle was an educational administrator, and he had a strong interest in both the creativity for children and teachers. He developed the Scamper method as an aid to help children tap into their natural creativeness based upon Alice Osborne's 83 questions. He kept the list short and developed the 7-step memory tool of an acronym, Scamper. Now, Scamper is one of the most useful and popular techniques implemented to generate creativity and innovation within the workplace. So, how do we use the Scamper technique? Each letter stands for a thinking technique. You can use one or all of the 7 concepts to find solutions or new ideas. It is also possible to jump from one element of Scamper to another. So, how would an organization use Scamper to generate creativity and innovation? Firstly, decide on an existing product or service within the organization. The organization may wish to enhance or develop this area of focus, or they might be experiencing problems with it. Then you can pose questions related to the service or product you identified, utilizing the Scamper method. Finally, you will have to look at answers brainstormed. Do any appear as a practical solution? Can any be utilized to develop new products or improve existing ones? Do any ideas seem viable that can be explored further? Step 1S for substitute. This focuses on taking away a part of the selected thing, concept, or situation and replacing it with something else. For example, steps in the process, product parts, or people and place. Substitution is a trial and error of replacing one object with another until you are able to determine correct idea. Types of questions you could ask. What process or product could you utilize? Can you utilize other materials or ingredients? Or is it possible to replace something involved? An example of substitution would be Boeing utilizing new components in their aircraft so that they are lighter and fuel efficient to a greater degree. Step 2C for combine. This next step is to contemplate combining elements of the situation or problem the organization is facing so as to think of something new. This refers back to our first quote from Michael Vance. Innovation is the creation of the new or the rearranging of the old in a new way. Contemplate routes that a combination of elements would take your organization. Some questions to ask here are: what parts, ideas, or materials could be combined? How do we combine resources and talent to develop a new way of thinking directed at the product? Or, what would be the result of combining both objectives and purposes? An example of a combination success would be the Gutenberg printing press, which combined a coin punch with a grape press mechanism, resulting in the movable type printing press. Step 3A for adapt. This focuses on molding or adapting solutions for other problems the organization encountered to suit the current issue. Questions to ask here. Is there a similarity between the current situation and something else? Is there a solution we can take from somewhere else and mold it to suit this one? Or what else does the product resemble? An example of adaptation would be Facebook was created for laptops and desktop browsers, but quickly adapted for mobile phone usage. Or M for modify. This focuses on asking the question about what ideas could be produced if the organization modifies the situation or the problem. Some questions to ask here. Can an aspect or product of the service be changed to enhance it? What can be added to change the product? Or what would happen if we modified the process? An example of modifying would be Aldi, due to COVID-19, now offering delivery service in selected regions. 5P for put to another use. This focuses on how an organisation could put their current idea to different use or what could be reused elsewhere to fix their problem. It contemplates modifying the goal or subject and its purpose of use and what it's assumed to do. Some questions that could be asked here are, is it possible to utilise this product elsewhere? Is it possible to recycle product waste to create something new? Or can anyone other than the target market utilise the product? An example of putting to another use would be Glanbia, who uses protein removed from whey products to make a number of high-volume performance sports nutrition products. E for eliminate. This contemplates what would happen if the organisation eliminated components or elements of the idea. By repeated elimination or trimming of ideas and processes, it is possible to steadily constrict challenges to the function or part of most significance. Questions that can be asked here are, how can we simplify or streamline the product? What components can be removed without changing the function? Or how can we minimize cost, effort, or time? An example of elimination would be Microsoft when they invented Windows 8 to remove the requirement of a mouse. Step 7, or for rearrange. This focuses on the organization rearranging or changing the sequence, pattern, or layout of their product. For example, interchanging components, changing their schedule, or interchanging cause and effect. Some questions that can be asked here are, can we interchange components? What would be the outcome of process reversal? Can we reorganize the product? An example of rearranging would be Uber rearranging the process by which people search for a taxi. They do no longer search for a lift, they just order one using their app. Benefits of the Scamper method. Firstly, the Scamper method encourages creativity among participants. The process of rearranging and combining different components of a business procedure allows participants to examine each step and determine how the entire procedure can be effective, more profitable, and enjoyable. The Scamper method removes assumptions and allows free thinking, resulting in creative ideas. Secondly, the Scamper method generates new ideas. It encourages new and creative ideas through the use of brainstorming. These can reveal where obstacles occur in current practices and develop solutions to combat these barriers. This outside-the-box thinking allows participants to identify the issue of the problem, and participants can then propose alternative solutions and apply those that work best. Unfortunately, the Scamper method also has its limitations. A major drawback is the effectiveness of the Scamper is limited to companies that encourage free-form thinking. When managers and executives maintain an allegiance to status quo, there will be resistance to embrace changes the Scamper technique will propose. Also, if business processes are not easy to disassemble and allow for substitutes, limitations, and rearrangements, the Scamper session will not be effective. It also discourages group unity. While it does encourage groups to think creatively, it can also lead to a time sink where participants argue over minute details. The free exchange of business processes can bring about new solutions but also create a division among the group. This can result in poor productivity. I think the beautician industry in Ireland could use the Scamper method to adapt to COVID-19. Having been closed for several months, the industry could use the Scamper to analyse their services and use multiple elements of the framework to adapt. Firstly, they could modify their facial treatment to create at-home facial kits which their customers could purchase online and have delivered to their door. Secondly, they could put their beauticians to another use by running online seminars which their customers would pay for on various different topics such as skin health, makeup, and step-by-step tutorials. I think the Scamper method is ideal for this industry as they are struggling to adapt to COVID-19, and using the Scamper framework provides innovative ideas from existing products and services they already have. In conclusion, I think the Scamper method is an excellent creativity tool that organizations can use. It is a simple process that creates innovative and fresh ideas. I would like to thank you for taking the time to listen to my presentation today.